Hi guys, it's Jill Blanchett again, here with my fourth card for the Inked Occasions Paper Pumpkin Kit. This card doesn't really have a lot of stamping, but isn't it just the coolest card? I love how that looks. So let's get started and I will show you how you can make your own. We're going to start with a base card that is 8.5 by 5.5. Score it or just fold it in half at 4 1/4. Burnish on that fold real well. On top of that, we'll build the rest of the card on a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of berry burst. Then we have 12 1-inch squares of basic black. And then we're going to use this card and we're going to cut out 12 1-inch squares out of here. So just start punching. I'm going to pause while I keep punching, but we're just going to punch 12. And once you get all those punched, we're going to just start gluing them together, and we're going to offset the colored piece on the black piece. So let me show you a couple, and then I'll pause and finish those. So we're going to put a little glue on it, and then we're just going to offset it. You can get as precise as you want, but you kind of want the same amount on the top and or the side and the bottom. So we're going to make 12 of these. So we're just going to glue them together like this. All right, so let me pause you while I put them all together. Yep, still gluing. This will be probably your most tedious part up till you're going to lay them on. Then that's where you'll want to be more precise. So keep gluing here. All right, I have all those glued together. Now we want to strategically lay them out on our paper, and then we can move them around to make sure we've got them lined up. What I'm going to do when I say strategically, I'm going to try and, we got 4 rows. I'm going to try and shake up where all of the colors are, so that like this blue, we don't have too many of those next to each other if we can help it. Too many of the dark pinks. Just kind of spreading them out. I didn't pay any attention to when I was laying them down. So put this one over here. On the paper, how that was happening. So let's see. I'm going to take... those two. I do have a lot of this color next to each other. Let's put another pink one up here. Put this one down here. Oh, we kind of got the same thing going on. All right, we'll call that good. So now we're just going to, like I said, kind of precisely, strategically, carefully layer these. We want 4 up and down and 3 across. And then, the spacing. Well, that looks pretty good. Oop, that must have had some extra glue on it. Okay, so we're going to start then gluing these down to the card. We've got basically the same spacing all the way around. We'll just shore those up a little bit. And I'm just going to look again and make sure it looks like I got everything. Enough colors intermixed in there. I think we're good. So, like I said, now I'm going to just start gluing them in place. Like this. I'll start up here. And I'm going to work down so that I know I got my spacing right. We can use our board just shy of the line. So that looks pretty good. All right, so I'm going to pause you again while I glue, because this is going to be like watching paint dry, and I don't want you to have to do that. So I'll be back in a hot second. Alrighty, they are all glued on. And then now, if you could see the texture I got in there, we're going to run it through an embossing folder. And I am going to use the 3D swirl embossing folder. I'll bring that over when I'm done. So hang on again. Okay, it's called So Swirly. So can you see that texture? That's what we're going for. And I put it in, they call it debossed. So if you have the logo up, it's going to push the back side through the paper and push the design up, because this is kind of like a channel there that it'll push into. If you flip it over, it will push the pattern down. So here is if I had it run through like this with this side up, it would do this to it. But I flipped it over, and so now it's all going down inside. I don't know if that's showing up, but that's what that's doing. So I put that side down, and I used the swirlies to kind of go with the swirlies that were sort of in the paper, or in the pattern of the ink. We're going to put some glue on that, and we're just going to glue this piece to the front. Hold that down. When you got the embossing folders, I don't have my brayer over here. Brayer is good to go over and help flatten all that glue down, because when you use some of those detailed brayers, it really makes a lot of design, and then it's hard for the glue to stick it down. So push that down real good. Then I have a piece of basic white that I'm going to put on the inside. And you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to just use a scrap, which I should have done first. Let's see if it's still going to work okay. I'm going to put this down on here. Then I'm just going to use a scrap that we cut off the card, and I'll cut that to 4 inches. Might be cutting off a little bit too much of the color, but we'll cut that off. And we'll just glue that down. Might have cut that too small. I might not have read where the 4 inches was on my cutter. And we're just going to put that down here. Just decorate up this piece a little bit. And we're good to continue there. So now let's get I got a piece of basic white. And I've got my Thinking of You stamp. And we're going to use this one in just Memento Black to draw out on the black that we're using on the card. And then I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to fussy cut around this. Then I'm going to attach it to black and we'll cut it again. Hang on. I'm doing a lot of hanging on in this video, but it's better than making you watch me, so hold on. All right, it's cut out. Put a little bit of glue on the back. Stick it on our black. And then we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut it out again, but this time I will be a little larger in the background. So I'm not going to get quite as, I'm going to call it detailed on the curves. It's going to be a little larger swoops of the scissors on this one, without getting into all the nooks and crannies as much as I try to on the bigger one, so that we got a nice base underneath that shows and shadows it nicely. And I'm keeping you with me on this one just because it's not going to take as long to cut this one. There. We'll call that one good. So now we've got our double layer there. And then I have some of that lovely gold thread that my girls love so much. And it's almost gone on this spool. Yes, they're going to be excited that it's almost gone, but lo and behold, I've got like 6 more spools of all the colors. So I'm just wrapping a whole bunch of it around here. I'll cut it off. And then we're going to put it on the back. So let's get, I'm going to get a big piece of dimensional that I can stick on there and stick this to it. All right, so I'm not the best at knowing how to floof this all around. Mine always looks so precisely staged on there. So we'll stick it like this, see what we get. That doesn't look too bad. I want it a little bit looser, loosey-gooseier, bigger. Just going to kind of pull it. I'm going to take that raw edge and hide that one under there. Yeah, that looks a little more like I want it. So now we're going to take this and stick it on the front of our card. I'm going to get another couple dimensionals that I still have some over here that doesn't have anything stuck to it. And then we're going to stick it in the center because all this thread is going to get kind of hard to see. So we're just going to stick it in the center where it might show up a little bit better. And there we go. How's that for our final card? Easy, putsy again, but easy. And the look of this shadowed squares like that is just awesome. So thanks for watching, you guys. I appreciate it. I'll be back again next month.